Hey, what's up guys? This is Team Hard Life Captain Alberto, and we're still on the beach, and this is part 2 of the series Teach a Man to Fish. I'm gonna leave a lot of this series uncut and raw footage because there's just too much things that happen, that change, that evolve, questions that ask, and which way we need to go, what we need to do, and how we adapt and overcome on all of those things. So for here, we're gonna start rigging baits, and I'm gonna show you how I rig mine.
Gotta bite. I think I got a lot of stress on my mind. It's a nice day to go. Yeah, I gotta learn. I'ma call the whole team.
One of the first things we're gonna start with is our 20-aught circles. We got 20s and 24s here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rig the 20s on the smaller cows and probably the small Jack Crevalle, and I'm going to put the 24s into the bigger cows. And the reason I'm rocking this out is what I'm doing. I got 480s or 380s and one 130, and then I got 2 HXW Raptors that I'm planning to get out for today's trip. And what I'm going to start with is using my rigging needle to rig the hooks through the bait. That's one thing I still love to do, is put it through there, and the reason for it is because I am going to be fishing a tournament, and lately, yes, there's some big sharks out there, but there's also weekends where there's nothing but smaller ones, 6, 7, 8 footers and stuff like that. Well, those smaller sharks don't tend to eat a whole one like this as easily. Normally what they'll come up and do is tap out the tail, and I'm going to explain why I'm rigging it the way I'm rigging it here in just a second.
It's a rare, beautiful day like this, man. Give me a hand with it. Yep, hold on that tip.
Yeah. By rigging the cable up underneath here, as the weight falls, it'll make it fall down like that. If I put it up on top, it'll put the cow steamer and it'll sit there like that. I want them to think it's still alive.
Yeah.
So they come up like this. If it's dead, then they'll come pick it up head first, and that's not where the hook is. So it's all about hook twist.
So you only need one hook in that thing.
Well, I'm going to trim off the wings and make smaller baits for our cast outs and run those close so we can get into some small stuff. I'm definitely shooting for big ones, but yeah, we'll see what ends up happening. As soon as it goes loose, it'll loosen up. Well, no, what it is I like a lot of hook exposure, but there you go.
What is it, Denver?
Good deal. Toss it or keep it there? Go ahead and toss that. We want bigger white.
I think that one on hold.
Yeah. Do that speak now or forever hold your peace deal.
Sweet. That's the baiter, huh? This one's for a behemoth deer.
Really small baits too.
Have you?
What I do with the cables that are loose is they only have, they have two, then braid them up a little bit like this, so that way when they go on the leader, it's just go. Nico, connect this to the 130.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to show you how easy it is to connect these things.
Sure. It's a fish, what I do is put one on one side, one on the other. If not, if I only put one hook, then this hook will come out on this side or the opposite side. It don't matter as long as the hook is. I don't like my bait, my hook to be upright like that. Put this Nico, put that away for a minute. We need to get this squared away. Put this on another 80. Another 80, another 80. Let's set up the HXW.
Gotta be nice, get it?
Yeah. I'm gonna do is I'll split this in half and make two baits and make it. Nice. If you wanna stop rigging up, come back and re-rig, I'll just run rig it.
Gotcha. Yep.
As you can see, I've got my leaders hooked into, or my drops hooked into the long line clips on my leaders. The leaders are 30 foot, 27 of the heavy mono, 3 foot of cable attached to a long line clip, which then in turn hooks into my bait. I like the long line clips on the fact that if I were to ever flip and get hooked, I can basically disconnect from the leader and go ahead and bring my baits back, or bring the hook back without having to tow the whole leader back in. This has been a real big safety precaution for any of the guys that are getting into shark fishing that are setting up their own leaders. I mean, that's a big safety thing if you think about it, because 90% of the time if you flip, it's because you have ran into horrible conditions, and you know that's why you flipped over, you know what I mean? So if you're tangled up and hooked up to a lot of leader and heavy weight, and that you were anticipating bad surf and current and stuff like that, do you really want to be fighting all of that trying to get back to the beach? Or do you want to just drop it all right there, you know, disconnect from the long line clip, towing only one hook back or two hooks back to the beach without any extra weight pulling you down or leader pulling you down? Because I've actually had a leader that wrapped up around my feet and was gonna drown me on the third bar if I had the shackles the way I used to have them, or the inline links, because when we would put those on, we would use tools and we would lock them into place. Well, I'm alive today, and we've had several other customers you know, over the years that are also alive today because of the long line clips. Those long line clips have really changed the way we have rigged up our baits and have a reason and a purpose for it. Not only that, when you do land a shark and stuff like that, what you can do is you can disconnect from the leader, get that out of the way, and then all you have to do is worry about the one hook. A lot of guys tend to take bolt cutters out there and cut their hooks. That's fine and dandy, but it also becomes very expensive. So for me, I'd rather just disconnect from the leader right there and go ahead and remove my hook if I'm able to. If not, on the very rare occasion, or with these circle hooks, to actually have a gut hook. So I'll cut the cable as close as I can to the shark's mouth and leave it be. It's one of the shark fishing regulations now that you have to use non-stainless steel hooks that are also non-offset. However, you can use an offset circle hook as long as the point points toward the shaft. You cannot have a point away from the shaft. And as you can see here, I'll be using a pedal drive kayak, which is the Old Town Predator 14. And, you know, we're rigging this up, getting ready to get in. And as you can see from the first video to now, we're actually starting to get a bit of a second bar or a first bar wave action right there. Whereas earlier it wasn't there. But as you can see through the rigging and everything we are doing, the winds have picked up just a bit, as you can hear in the video as well. And that's one of the things too, a lot of people miss out on being able to be at the beach on a nice semi-calm day. And so that's another reason why I'm not drowning out the sound, because it really isn't too bad. But also too, maybe I can give y'all a little bit of some nighttime sound to go to sleep or to watch, and just, you know, water does something to you when you're out there fishing. It does help open and clear the mind if you're battling with things in your life and you just need a little soak away. Hopefully these videos will help you with all the sound. So I'll let it play for a while we get the rest rigged up, and I hope you enjoy part 2 of our teaching a man to fish. I'm teaching him how I rig up our baits and answering the question he has along the way, and he's seeing how I am adapting to almost every situation that I'm coming to in order for it to help work. Now, you'll also see that not every situation I am adapted and overcoming, but it's a work in progress. That's the thing, guys. You gotta think outside the box and just keep going with it. Every change that you do is not going to be an exact science, but you'll learn from that and you can grow. So you're going to see us, how we adapt and overcome, and how we're going to continue to grow.
I had to record it and say, look, this thing. Let me get my second picked up with the rod real quick. Yeah, I don't have a voice in the head.
A few of the other guys have gotten here. They're already getting in the water. They're also setting up the barbecue pit there. Yeah, it's gonna be a beautiful, blessed day. Can't wait. Can't wait. We'll see how it goes.